All right, here we go. Go for it.
All right. Welcome, everyone. Excited to be here for our Zoom training today, and we're going to be talking a little bit about recruiting. I'm Kathy Hendricks. I'm from Oregon, and Kathy Dryden is my co-presenter. She's giving a little wave over there in the pink. We're both kind of in bright colors today. That's good. And Kathy's from Florida. She is married mother of 2 boys, and she started her Pampered Chef business 2 years ago to help pay for college, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, help pay for college. And she has a very active team since January. Her team has recruited 12 new members. So you're definitely going to want to listen to what she has to say today. And I am actually been with Pampered Chef 20 years yesterday. So it was my anniversary. And anyhow, I've done 100 parties with Pampered Chef and reached my million career sales last fall. So my job today is going to be able to tell you a little bit about informing about recruiting, and then Kathy Dryden, we're both Kathys, she's going to talk a little bit about how to actually invite them, because there is a difference between informing and inviting. So really lots of ways to invite or inform people about the business opportunity. One of my favorites starts at the show. On my catalogs, I like to put the stickers. These are, if you don't know what these are the booking and recruiting stickers. They're actually right on the website. So if you go into the search engine in the top on Consultants Corner, there's a little search engine with a magnifying glass, and you just type in bookings and recruiting, these stickers will pop up. So it gives all kinds of information about bookings and recruiting. And I just print them out and put them on every catalog at my shows. And I hear people like before the show talking about, like they'll be saying, like, what's your question? Like, what's on there? So that's an easy way to kind of start it. Then let's see, the ticket activity is another form that's also on Consultants Corner. So if you just type in ticket activity Q&A, it'll pop up with the ticket activity Q&A, which looks like questions and answers. Okay. So there's questions over here and there's answers over here. These are the most asked questions at a party. So they're the ones that you're going to see the most often. And so if you just kind of get familiar with the answers to those, it's really simple to be able to share some information. So a couple different ways. I like to use a ticket game. I'm kind of old school. So I use just tickets. You can get a big roll of tickets from like Oriental Trading has them, Office Depot, Staples, all those have them. You can also even get them at Dollar Tree, but they're more expensive at Dollar Tree overall. And so like at my shows, I'll just use 8 or 9 tickets depending upon how many people are there. And I think the setup of it is really important, because when I first started doing a ticket activity at my show, I was having problems getting people to ask questions. So at the end of my show, I'll say, so we're going to play a little game, and I have a prize to give away. And I always have 2 different prizes to choose from. So then whatever the item is, a lot of times it's a rub or a ice slice, something like that, the little bamboo tongs. So I'll have those at my show, and I kind of sell those, right? So I'll tell them why they want the rub or the bamboo tongs. Okay. So then after I've kind of sold the item to give away, I'll say, okay, so the game is called the ticket game. I say, I'm not very clever, so it's just ticket game. And how it works is, about 4 or 5 years ago, I just had a lot of people after the show asking me questions about how it works to be a consultant. So I decided to turn it into a game and give something away. So you can ask me any question you want about my job. Really, it doesn't need to be a question about my job. If it's a business or a product question, you don't get a ticket for that, so you might save those till later. But nothing's off the limits. You can ask me anything. It might be for you. You might know right off the bat, oh my gosh, I have some questions. But you also might know it's not your thing, because this isn't for everybody. And so think about somebody that you know, because I can guarantee there is someone in your life who could use a little extra income. So they'd probably want to know how much you work, how much you make, how much it costs to get started, right? So who's going to be brave and go first? So that's kind of how I set it up. And then I raise my hand, like when I say who's going to be brave and go first. And like I really don't ever have a problem with somebody volunteering at that point because I've kind of already planted the seed with a few questions, right? I already told them how much you make, how much it costs, how much to get started. So I've already planted the seed for a few questions they could ask. If you really had nobody ask, which I mean, honestly, that maybe happens once a year, then I'll ask my host, because they're always willing to play along with you, right? So I'll say, so host Wendy, would you mind asking, a question about, to get us started? And then she'll ask something. So if she's really, kind of hems and haws, I'll say, oh, I bet you want to know how much it costs to get started or something like that, right? So you kind of get them started and then it just kind of goes from there. And lots of people also do a Stealing Hearts game. I think, Lindsay, you're still doing Stealing Hearts. Does anybody else do Stealing Hearts? Bethany, good. So Stealing Hearts basically is the same game, just played with cards instead. So you can use cards, you can use bags. There's different ways to do it, but there are some YouTube videos out there. If you go to YouTube and just type in Pampered Chef Stealing Hearts, you'll also kind of see, but it's the same questions, honestly, once you get the questions kind of down. Now, here's the thing. I know in the beginning, if you're a brand new consultant, it gets a little overwhelming to think I've got to know the answers to questions. And so on our team, we came up with an idea for people who are just really hesitant to play the game because they're not sure they're going to be able to answer the questions that are given to them. I can guarantee you're going to be able to, because actually business questions, you probably know the answers to better than product questions. If somebody asks you a question about a product that you're not familiar with, you're not going to know the answer to that. But business questions, you're going to know how much the kit costs, right? You're going to know approximately how much a new consultant makes. But one of the ways around that, we just get a little bag at Dollar Tree. And then what you can do is cut out the questions and answers. So instead of having them on that sheet of paper, I don't know if you guys can see this, that's just like a question and then the answers on the back. So one of the things about this sheet is the question is always shorter than the answer. All right. So you can pass this bag around at your show, and people do as they're told. So you just say, if you pass the bag around and you say, I want everybody here to go ahead and take a slip of paper out of the bag, right? So they'll take a slip of paper. And so once they get the slip of paper, then I'll say, okay, great. So I'm going to have you guys go ahead and read off the short side. So that's going to be the question. So they might say, like, how much does it cost to get started? That's one of the questions. And then I'll say, okay, go ahead and flip that over to the back and read us the back. And then I'll give the answer a lot less than you might imagine. Our starter kit is $159 and it's worth more than $580. There's a little bit more there. But anyhow, it's an easy way to get your guests involved in that if you're not comfortable playing the actual ticket game or Stealing Hearts. So you can just pass the bag around. All right, and another variation besides those is the Y bag. So I have this fun little Pampered Chef bag, but you could have any sort of, little bag. You could use something from Dollar Tree, whatever. Mine has a little thing that slides in and out. I don't remember where we got these from Pampered Chef at one point, probably years ago. And anyhow, so in the Y bag, you can have different ideas of things that mean something to you in your business. So one of the things might be a rubber band, right? Like my business is very flexible. It fits in with my family schedule. So my daughter can be in Girl Scouts and I can go to all the tennis matches, whatever. You might have a trip tag from a trip that you've been on with Pampered Chef. And I would say, I love the way that Pampered Chef gives us the opportunity to earn free travel every year. Or you might be using your Pampered Chef income to make a car payment or to save for, a new car. So if you go like to Dollar Tree, that's a great place because it's only $1, right, for each thing that you get there. And so pick up some things like, a little toy car or, rubber bands, or you could even use a straw, like the flexibility of your business, like one of those flexible straws. There's lots of different ideas. Another one is taking a credit card, like not a real one, but you get those fake ones in the mail and cut it up and then put that in a plastic baggie and, say, like, if it's helped you to reduce your credit card debt, or, you can say it's helping me to reduce my credit card bills. So that's another way to be able to share, is just by sharing a Y bag. So those are some of the ways that I like to inform. And Now, Kathy is going to tell us how she invites at her parties and out and about.
Okay, good ideas. I love these because you actually create a spark when you're at shows with people with all these activities, whichever one you choose to do, because they're all really good ideas to work in your business. And when you create that spark, how many of you actually skip this part in your shows? Does anybody ever skip it just because you're in a hurry? No? Everybody? Oh, cool. So why do you think people feel awkward about sharing the Pampered Chef business? Somebody shout out why it's uncomfortable for some people. Who's the first brave one?
Share it? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Why do you think it's so awkward to ask people, if they're interested in the Pampered Chef business?
Fear of rejection.
Fear of rejection.
I hate being told no.
Hearing that N-O word. Any other ones?
I don't want sometimes time pressure sales.
Oh, you don't want to feel like that high pressure salesperson.
Having people think that you're being pushy with them.
Okay.
That sometimes they automatically have body language that kind of suggests that they're already thinking that you're being a pushy person.
Right. And sometimes it feels like that because they may be looking at their watch or they're like in a hurry trying to get through the show. And sometimes that's the part we skip is the Kathy game, Kathy Hendricks games. And it's really important to kind of make sure that you look at everybody in the group because sometimes that person that seems like you're wasting their time kind of feel, that's fine, but there is somebody else sitting there that may need it. And they may be sitting there wondering, how am I going to pay for my credit card next month? Or how am I going to make it through groceries because I'm running out of money this month? So the biggest change that I started thinking was, if I truly in my heart believe this business is as amazing as it's been for me, that it can be that great for somebody else, then I have to share it with everybody. So at my shows, I ask every single guest, even if they don't place an order, even if they look like they're, hoity-toity and own, a millionaire, I still always ask because just like if you had a favorite restaurant, Desiree knows if I find a great place to eat, I tell everybody about it. If you have a great place that has a shoe sale, so if you just have that feel in your heart that this business is that great, then it's real easy. And a lot of those things that make us feel awkward are really putting us in the picture. I don't want to feel pushy or I can't remember all the other ones you said that were so good. But and the biggest change that's happened on my team is I've taken me out of it and just not prejudged or anything. And some of us have had home office leads, and that's been some of my highest performers because I haven't had a chance to prejudge them. I have never met them. They just show up and we work with them as they are. And it's been really neat to see that. And that kind of was an eye-opener for me. So at the cooking shows that Kathy was featuring, I always invite my host. I always share that kit credit. I make sure that's an important part of her host coaching, and she knows before the show, then also as we're closing the show. So that's someone you can ask. The future bookings, like most of us go to shows and we get bookings and have future hosts. And so that's kind of where our cycle begins with them. We're just starting our time with them, where the current host, we're kind of finishing up because it's the end of the show. So future host, I share when I give them their packet of the show, I did put some information in the business and and I share with them, I've made about $100, $150 tonight. Isn't that kind of fun? And they're like, really? Wow. And they'll ask questions, or they may, just take the information and go. So that's kind of how I share the information with my future host. And then every single guest, and like I said, whether they did an order or not, I still go try and touch base with them because I feel like through the show we've made a connection just because I've met them and made a new friend. And pretty much my wording is, did you have a good time? Or what was your favorite recipe? And have you ever thought about this business as a fun way to earn some extra income or extra money? Sometimes people will react and go, had a great time. This isn't any interest to me, and that's fine. And that's that fear of no. You just kind of have to move on and hope for the best. And it's not that they're saying no to you, that you were a horrible consultant. It's just not a good time for them. And a lot of times timing is everything for people. I may have met a guest and nope, not interested. And 6 months later, they'll come back and say, hey, remember when we talked? And then that's their timing. That's perfect for them. And I also always ask when I do collect orders, would you like some information about the business? Or can I answer any questions that maybe weren't answered at the ticket game or the Stealing Hearts game? How many of you do Facebook parties or shows? Okay, so that's a perfect time. A lot of times we think we have to post recipes, we have to post the games, we have to post products, but posting your recruiting post, question and answer, is huge. Sometimes those quiet guests that you don't hear anything from, they come out of the woodwork for those question posts. And basically it's just a post with a question mark and it says, ask me a question about Pampered Chef business, earn raffle tickets for participating. And I get the standard questions Kathy shared that you see, the most popular questions a lot. I love posting my paychecks. I'll do my paycheck as my first paycheck, and then maybe after I've had a team that was in my team, I'll do second paycheck so they see how it can change and grow. But they can also see I'm actually earning that paycheck. It's not just free products and things like that. With the post of the Ask Me Question post on my Facebook page, we do a drawing slip after that part. And a lot of times you'll have interest there, but I can't physically ask every single guest at a Facebook show because we know some of our hosts invite 200 people, and I'm not going to be able to do that. But I do private message huge participators. If I have somebody who asked 2 or 3 questions, they didn't really care about the tickets, they just really wanted information, I do private message them and say, hey, I saw that you had a lot of questions. I want to see if you have any more. And some of my wording is, I hope if I have somebody who's doing a lot of games and maybe didn't ask any questions at that post, my wording is, I hope you're enjoying, Susie's party. Have you ever thought about doing something like this to earn extra money? You've been so much fun on the party that I would love to work with you on our dream team. And I save that and I copy and paste it individually. I never do a group message or anything like that. But it lets them know that you've noticed that they've seem to have fun and they're participating a lot. And 3 of our new consultants on our team are just from that action that I've done. So it's kind of neat to see. And people love to be complimented and that you would be fun to work with. So that's helped a lot. And then sometimes you have those quiet people on a show that you haven't heard from the whole time, and then they do an order at the end of the party. And I do message them, and my message is a little different because I haven't seen how much fun they've had because I didn't even know they were there. And I'll just say, thanks bunches for your order. Have you ever thought about Pampered Chef being an opportunity to earn money while having fun? Again, you may get a response, you may not, and that's okay. That can count as one of your no's and get those no's out of the way. The third way I do recruiting outside of the cooking show and the Facebook show is I embarrass my family, but if we have a great waitress at the end of the meal, and Wendy's been with me at breakfast, if they've been fun and had great customer service, I'll just say, have you ever heard of Pampered Chef? And share that I just loved, I would love to have you on my dream team because your customer service was just amazing. Dear ended because I've complimented her doing a good job, but honestly, it is a good feature for you to have for someone who wants to, that you would like to have on your team. And the other one I put down here was retail workers. If you go to a store, typically those retail workers aren't making the amount of money that you can make an hour on a show. So I just do that. Have you ever thought of, you know, or ever heard of Pampered Chef. So I did write the wording down, and I can share that for the different situations. But a lot of it may be on Kathy's common question forms that she shared too. It may be the same wording. So, but that's all I have. That's all I got.
Well, that was great. I love it. I love the idea of, you know, really asking people. It never feels, like you said, it never makes them feel bad to be asked, right? So, did anybody have any questions for Kathy or Kathy?
So on your Facebook parties, are you talking like the virtual ones, or are you talking the 2-week-long ones?
I do. I use a script that was shared with us through a gal in the company, Charlotte, and it's a 10-day virtual party script. And she has it laid out with what to do on day 1, day 2, and I want to say day 4. It's a post that I schedule to go through the day, and they just answer questions. And then through the show, it's the 10-day one is what I do. Somebody else may do the shorter ones. I'm not sure.
I do. Sorry, whoever's trying to talk. I do a lot of the 10-day ones. I haven't really done like an actual virtual one.
10-day meaning it's a party or it's part of your cooking show?
No, as far as the Facebook show. So the question and answers, I'm having a hard time getting people to respond to those on the Facebook show.
So that's when I private message the host and I say, listen, it is so much fun if you have some friends that could join in, or if you could start, kind of like Kathy does with the cooking shows. You kind of have the host get your back a little bit to help get going. Or sometimes we have a private game or microwave and it keeps popping up. There are shows I have nobody make questions, and that's okay too. It's a numbers game for sure with that. And one of the things too I was going to share, I forgot because I was like so nervous. Kathy's games and my posting things and things like that, those are great to do. But if you don't follow through and ask them or invite them to the business, it's kind of all for naught. So that's where I feel like that asking everybody is so important, because you just don't know what people need. And I can throw all that information out there, but if I don't invite them or ask them, it's just, I feel like I haven't finished my job or, closed out my show. Is that right?
Great. Anybody else have any questions? All right. Well, I think Lindsay and Wendy are going to be our next and last trainers. I think that's our last class in 2 weeks, right? It's on the 21st.
Yeah, 2 weeks.
But you guys are doing yours, I think.
Yes.
Okay. So, yeah, sounds good.
Thank you.
Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers.
Yeah, happy Mother's Day, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining
Bye.
us. Bye.